While Biden's administration turned their backs on North Carolina, President Trump is taking decisive action in the wake of Hurricane Helene. Within just 2 days, Trump ordered the Army Corps of Engineers to rebuild critical infrastructure and sign an executive order slashing all red tape for reconstruction. He's even suggesting FEMA's slow response may have been politically motivated. But here's what's really turning heads. Trump's new condition for California aid: implement voter ID. That's right, the contrast couldn't be clearer. Real leadership versus bureaucratic paralysis. Watch as Donald Trump transforms disaster response in real time. And just like Hurricane Helene exposed North Carolina's vulnerable infrastructure, today's economic storm is exposing the weakness in your retirement portfolio. While FEMA failed these communities, Global Gold Investment stands ready to protect your financial future. Don't let your retirement savings get washed away by inflation and market uncertainty. Call 888-700-4148 and receive your 2025 Protect Your Wealth and Retirement Guide absolutely free. When you mention Next News, you'll get complimentary portfolio analysis plus up to $1,000 in free silver for January rollovers. Build your financial storm shelter today. Okay, let's get this party started. Finally, relief is coming for the people of North Carolina. A reporter asked President Trump why he invited Adam Schiff to North Carolina after calling him scum, and his response is legendary. Listen.
Cheaper, but I don't know. Is he going? Is he going? I don't know. I mean, I really don't. You know, because if he's going to be there, it would be cheaper, but I didn't invite him. Somebody did.
I didn't invite him, but somebody did. Here's President Trump on the voter ID. President Trump wants voter ID and more water to fight fires before he will send emergency aid to California. These should be common sense, but Newsom wants his people to suffer. D.C. Drano reporting that. Let's listen in.
Funding to Los Angeles because of its sanctuary city policy?
I want to see two things in Los Angeles: voter ID, so that the people have a chance to vote, and I want to see the water be released and come down into Los Angeles and throughout the state. Those are the two things. After that, I will be the greatest president that California has ever seen. I want the water to come down and come down to Los Angeles and also go out to all the farmland that's barren and dry. You know, they have land that they say is the equivalent of the land in Iowa, which is about as good as there is anywhere on earth. The problem is it's artificial because they artificially stop the water from going onto the land. So I want two things. I want voter ID for the people of California, and they all want it. Right now, you don't have voter ID. People want to have voter identification. You want to have proof of citizenship. Ideally, you have one-day voting, but I just want voter ID as a start, and I want the water to be released, and they're going to get a lot of help from the U.S. Thank you very much. I'll see you in a little while.
Thank you very much, President Trump, for being the president that we need you to be. God bless him, man. This is only the beginning. We are only in day 5. Trump on Adam Schiff looks like he got hit with a baseball bat.
Busy. It's reported he invited Senator Schiff to join you on this trip, and he was too busy. Are you disappointed?
I don't know. I was told that Schiff was going to travel with us to California. I wasn't thrilled, to be honest with you. And I saw him last night on television. It looks like he got hit with a baseball bat or something. What happened to him? Something happened to him. It looked like he got hit. It looked like he got beat around. But I'll ask Caroline to find out what happened to him. No, if he wanted to come out, I would have done that. But I don't know. Somebody said that he wanted to come on the plane, but I think he's staying back for the votes. There's some pretty good votes going on. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know why he would say that. I have not seen the footage of Adam Schiff. Maybe he's got panda eyes. I don't know. But yes, FEMA is done.
When you have I'll also be signing an executive order to begin the process of fundamentally reforming and overhauling FEMA, or maybe getting rid of FEMA. I think, frankly, FEMA is not good. I think when you have a problem like this, I think you want to go and whether it's a Democrat or Republican governor, you want to use your state to fix it and not waste time calling FEMA. And then FEMA gets here and they don't know the area. They've never been to the area. And They want to give you rules that you've never heard about. They want to bring people that aren't as good as the people you already have. And FEMA's turned out to be a disaster. And you could go back a long way. You could go back to Louisiana. You could go back to some of the things that took place in Texas. It turns out to be the state that ends up doing the work. It just complicates it. I think we're going to recommend that FEMA go away. I'll also be
recommending that FEMA go away. And then we have this. Okay, what's this? If you ever want to know why I voted for Donald Trump, look at Western North Carolina. Who is this woman?
For Donald Trump. If you ever want to know why I voted for Donald Trump, take a look at Western North Carolina. In 4 months, our past administration couldn't do anything for these people for the hurricane that hit them on September 24th of 2024 this year. These people lost their homes. They lost their cars, their stores. There was no Walmarts to go and replace things. There was no Lowe's to go and get tools at. They lost their family. They lost everything in this flood. It took everything from them. It wiped out entire towns. And our past administration had the nerve to cut them a $750 check and wipe their hands. Walked away. These people went in the freezing cold, sleeping on the grounds in tents with their babies. Some of them had newborn babies sleeping on the ground in tents with snow on the ground. Can you imagine? And in 2 days, President Trump has these people being transferred to fully furnished apartments. In 2 days. Our borders are being closed.
Oh, yeah, the borders are being closed. President Trump taking action when it is so desperately needed there in North Carolina. Here's President Trump 7 hours ago. God bless him, man. RSBN reporting President Trump gives North Carolinians the opportunity to address the nation about their experiences and losses during Hurricane Helene. Let's listen in.
About two. I was next door to the house, and my son was out of town, so when he came in to Charlotte to my sister's, he called about 2 in the morning because at midnight the water was still in the stream, within the banks. So when he called, the water was coming up, so I started moving vehicles up to about 5:30 in the morning, and she was in the house, and I pulled up to the steps and I said, hop on the fender and I'll get you out. Well, he built a beach house on stilts, 5 times higher than the floodplain. And she said, well, he said I'd be okay. So I'm staying with the dogs. So I went to higher ground with some vehicles, hers included, and the water covered everything. But I'd already seen it come around both sides of my place, so I got my blind and deaf dog and a bag of valuables and took up off the side of the hill behind my house, and then was heading to the cemetery back there because I knew it was open because there was trees.
You know, I just want to make a point here as we're watching this personal account. You never see anything like this from the Biden administration. They would control every single message that come out of North Carolina. Remember when they were shutting down people who were flying drones over the area to get actual footage, and that footage was ending up on social media, making Joe Biden look like a fool, making that administration look ridiculous because of their failed disaster response? This man's uncensored. This man is unfiltered right here. You're getting a first-hand account. And President Trump standing there listening intently. This is beautiful.
Falling and uprooting. It was raining.
You never saw anything like that?
No, I've been through floods all my life around there. Never nothing.
Never been anything like that. But you're okay, right?
Yep. House destroyed.
Yeah, well, we'll help you out.
Appreciate it. Thanks for being here.
Anybody else? You guys okay?
Our day that morning began a little taller with some trees falling into our house, which our house is goes back 4 generations, 80 years, and never came close to flooding. And we woke up with trees about 4:30 or 5 in the morning, and our house sits 3/10 of a mile back off the road. And the water, we've had flooding and such in the lake, but nothing like we saw. And like most everybody else, we moved 5 vehicles this far up, and lawnmowers and everything else, and the water started coming in the house. And when it got up to about ankle high, we have a loft. I got her up in that and tried to gather what you might want, which was totally random. And then when it made it to the loft and started getting up to about her hips, I built a little makeshift ladder and we got out on our roof. And we spent 4 hours on the roof. I had a little baggie. I did notes on my cell phone to my 2 kids and my 2 grandkids, and something to identify me in case we were lost in it.
Did you think you were going to make it?
No, we're.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah, we didn't think we were going to make it at all. I mean, our house was 25 feet underwater.
So you didn't think you were going to live?
No, we were watching houses, trailers, bodies coming by us. And we live in the Azalea Road area in East Asheville, 0-team. Yeah, we watched our garage float by.
My goodness.
But we got to a point where it crested about 4 feet up on the roof. We took about 3 or 4 hours for it so we could kind of do everything in reverse, and got out in the mud to higher ground. And I got out higher ground up to a subway and got over to her daughter's house, where when she saw that I didn't have her, she lost it. And I was like, she's okay, she's alive. And we tried to make our way back in there and gather things best we could, but found a body right away. There was about 8 bodies in our area that first 2 weeks located, and we were lucky we weren't one of them, and blessed.
Wow. Yeah, Joe Biden would never let those people take the microphone without having any filter. Here's Trump talking about issuing an executive order eliminating all regulations on road construction for North Carolina's rebuilding efforts.
Available resource. I'm pleased to announce that under our leadership, the federal government will be surging housing solutions to the state that go beyond mere temporary hotel stays that ended up being very short term. The government wouldn't do it any longer, which is ridiculous. We'll marshal all available resources to bring back potable water and make your water and infrastructure dramatically more reliable very quickly. Today, I'll also be signing an executive order slashing all red tape and bureaucratic barriers and permits to ensure the rapid reconstruction of the roads here in western North Carolina. We're going to go through a permitting process that's called no permitting, just get it done. That's the way they built them many years ago, I guarantee you that, right? I'm pleased to announce that under our...
Amen. Finally, cutting the red tape that is strangling these people. Here's more on President Trump talking about getting rid of FEMA.
I'll also be signing an executive order to begin the process of fundamentally reforming and overhauling FEMA, or maybe getting rid of FEMA. I think, frankly, FEMA is not good. I think when you have a problem like this, I think you want to go and, whether it's a Democrat or Republican governor, you want to use your state to fix it and not waste time calling FEMA, and then FEMA gets here and they don't know the area, they've never been to the area, and they want to give you rules that you've never heard about. They want to bring people that aren't as good as the people you already have. And FEMA's turned out to be a disaster. And you could go back a long way. You could go back to Louisiana. You could go back to some of the things that took place in Texas. It turns out to be the state that ends up doing the work. It just complicates it. I think we're going to recommend that FEMA go away. And we pay directly, we pay a percentage to the state. But the state should fix this. If the state did this from the beginning, it would have been a lot better situation. I think you guys agree with that, right?
Think about that. He's returning power back to the states. It's the same thing with like public education, right? Why would you have a Department of Public Education at the federal level? Okay, they don't know the students. They don't know the education. It's the same thing with FEMA. right? They don't. He just laid it out there. They don't know the roads. They don't know the landscape. They bring in these woke federal employees that come down and it's like, oh, and then they start meddling with all the local restructuring efforts and the rescue efforts. Okay? I mean, how about you just have FEMA just go and just drop supplies, and let the states and the localities take lead. FEMA can still have like a supporting role, call it something else, but Donald Trump clearly understands the problem that FEMA has presented for so long. Here we have more. Holy cow. Trump floating the question of North Carolina aid being slow-walked for political reasons. Oh, my.
President, you talked about conditions being placed on aid to California, voter ID and the like. Are there any conditions that you're going to put on aid to North Carolina?
We're going to do a lot for North Carolina. They've been very slow. I don't know why it's been so bad. This has been one of the worst I've seen. Katrina, of course, was something that obviously that was a long time ago. That was not good. But this has been very slow. I don't know if that was for political reasons because they lost the state. Biden lost the state. Maybe he felt he doesn't care. Maybe there were other reasons. I don't know. But this has been very slow. By any standard, this has been very slow. And we're gonna make up for lost time.
No conditions you're going to push for aid.
Well, in California, I have a condition. In California, we want them to have voter ID so the people have a voice, because right now the people don't have a voice because you don't know who's voting, and it's very corrupt. And we also want them to release the water. If they released the water, they wouldn't have had a problem. If they released the water when I told them to, because I told them to do it 7 years ago, if they would have done it, you wouldn't have had the problem that you had. You might not have even had a fire. So, but here I don't have that. It's a different thing. You got hit by a storm. The people are incredible. They worked really well. Franklin was fantastic, and other groups. By the way, other groups came in that were also fantastic, and other states came in. Tennessee and a couple of others came in, and they really helped. That's the way it's supposed to be. No, this is a different kind of a.
He's talking about Samaritan's Purse. Even my own family, my wife, she organized a local drive. She was able to bring have people bring supplies to our house, and then we personally deliver those supplies to semi-trucks that were heading to North Carolina. Here we have, this is from, looks like Real America's Voice. I want more questions like that. A very professional reporter. Real America's Voice, Brian Glenn, getting the real reporting done in a turnaround in the Trump administration.
Yeah. A lot of Americans think that this is symbolic of what your campaign was all about. America first, putting your priorities to Americans, even going to California where their policies might have been one of the biggest reasons why they've had these problems, but you're putting the American people first. Your thoughts on that?
We are. Thank you. I like that question. Boy, I want more questions like that. That's even a statement. Thank you very much. He's a good man, that guy. And he's also a very professional reporter, I have to say. Thank you very much. Yeah, we're putting America first. We're putting, in this case, North Carolina and California. We're going to do a good job in California. That is a disaster like, I don't know if we've ever seen anything like it, frankly. They say the biggest in the history of California. I think, has anything bigger than that happened in the whole country ever? It looks like, I don't want to say what it looks like, but you know what I'm going to say. It looks like something hit it. And we won't talk about what hit it, but it is a bad, bad situation.
A lot of Americans think.
Wow. The tide is changing, like literally. Historic first trip for President Trump as he lands in North Carolina, taking the big boy stairs because he can handle it. And this is from Matt Wallace. Pay attention to the woman behind Trump. Why? What's going on here?
Working with the thought I was going to California. I said, no, I'm stopping in North Carolina first because they've been abused by what's happened. I mean, it's terrible. It should have been done. It should have been, a lot of things should have happened that didn't happen. So we're here. We're going to fix it out. We're working with the gentleman behind me, and you know who they are, and we're going to fix it. And we're going to fix it as fast as you can. It's a massive amount of damage. FEMA has really let us down, let the country down, and I don't know if that's Biden's fault or whose fault it is, but we're going to take over and we're going to do a good job.
Pay close attention to the woman behind Trump. Well, the woman behind Trump is Melania, and she looks like a boss, by the way. This is the video of them coming down the stairs on Air Force One because Donald Trump knows how to do it. This is a day ago. This was published by Bill O'Reilly. Joe Biden's legal troubles apparently are growing. Major interview with James Comer. Let's listen.
The way it should be. And we, the people, pay. Well, President Trump, tomorrow going to North Carolina, California, Vegas. He's got to fix FEMA. It's not operating the way it should be. And we, the people, pay into this emergency fund to help our fellow citizens. And poor people in western North Carolina got hosed. People in Florida, now out in California. And we got to be able to deliver services to them. And FEMA's got to be redesigned top to bottom. So I think President Trump knows that. And I'm glad he's going to boost the spirits of the folks in North Carolina and hopefully in LA where there's more fires. And we'll keep an eye on that. It'll be interesting to see how Newsom behaves out there, or if the Trump people say, don't even bother to show up, Governor, which they have the power to do. So Newsom can't just intrude. All right? So we're on all this. Thank you for watching To View.
Bill O'Reilly, what's up, man? Good to see you. Yeah, Bill O'Reilly knows what's up. Never forget what the Democrats didn't do for us. Margot pointing out, North Carolina, it's time for you to start winning too. You've been overlooked for far too long. Look at this disaster. Well, that's going to change. Donald Trump is on the ground and in North Carolina. Let's see, we have more from that.
Well, thank you very much. It's a little cold outside, but you're getting used to the cold. And one of the things that are very important to me, and one of the reasons I'm happy that we won so convincingly, is to help North Carolina get fixed up. They supported us in record numbers, and I'm supporting them in record numbers too. And they had me set. I wanted to go to Los Angeles and see what was going on with California, why they aren't releasing the water. Millions and millions of gallons of water. They're sending it out to the Pacific. Someday somebody's going to explain that one. In the meantime, they have no water in Los Angeles where they had the problems. So we're going there. But I said, well, what about North Carolina? Well, you could do that. No, I can't. I said, we're stopping in North Carolina first, and then we're going to Los Angeles. And we just appreciate the outpouring of love that we've had here. Laura was, as you know, very instrumental in the campaign. And she lived here and is loved, and we appreciate it. And Michael Whatley has been incredible, wherever Michael is. Hello, Michael. Michael Whatley has been great, and your congressmen have been great. And what we thought we'd do is take a quick look around. First, we wanted to do this. I want to say that we're very disappointed in FEMA. Your new governor, it's not his fault. He's brand new to the whole situation. But we're going to work together with the governor. We're going to work together with the senators, but really we're going to work a lot with your congressmen, especially the three that are in the area, and Michael Whatley. And I'd like to put Michael in charge of making sure everything goes well. And Franklin Graham has been unbelievable. We've made a big contribution to Franklin, and we'll continue to do so. But I've been hearing nothing but praise for the job that Samaritan's Purse has done with Franklin, and we appreciate it. Where is Franklin? He's around here someplace. And that good-looking guy, he's always been a good-looking guy. His father was a good-looking guy, too, I'll tell you. We loved his father, right? I saw his father in the latter years, and I said, well, he doesn't have long to go. He was having a hard time, and he lived about 3 or 4 years after that, right? They say it was good stock. He had the ultimate good stock. But I want to thank you, Franklin. You've been fantastic here, and everywhere he goes, he's always the first one I see. People don't realize that how good it is. A lot of people, they go, well, maybe it's for the people that he's got, and you guys know because you're here. But the people that he's got have done amazing work.
Oh, man. President Trump is back, and I am just here for it. We are all here for it. So the speed of Trump's response in North Carolina reveals everything wrong with our current disaster relief system. In just 48 hours, he's accomplished what the previous administration couldn't do in 4 months. By deploying the Army Corps of Engineers and eliminating bureaucratic red tape, Trump's showing what America First disaster response looks like. But here's what's really interesting. His suggestion that aid was deliberately slow-walked because North Carolina didn't support Biden. Now he's demanding voter ID implementation in California before they receive federal assistance. Is this the new standard for disaster relief? Accountability for election integrity? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Should federal aid come with conditions? And rep your patriot spirit with our bold MAG Avengers gear exclusively at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com.